good evening, everyone. And I'm indeed delighted that today we have a very eminent panel with me, starting from Mr. D.K. Shami, who is Fire Advisor to Government of India. Mr. Dastur, he also comes from Ahmedabad. I am from Ahmedabad. He's also Director Fire Services for Gujarat. Mr. Prabhat Ranale is Director Fire Services for Maharashtra. So two top states who are leading in Corona numbers are also with us today. And of course, my dear friend, Architect Hiten Sethi, very eminent personality in our building engineering industry, again from New Bombay. And he's a person who has created many hospitals and currently doing and helping Maharashtra government to build up facilities in 12 to 20 days. Amazing work he's doing. And I do have Rajiv Jha, our sponsor for today evening from Neve. He's from Delhi. So welcome, Rajiv, and welcome all of you. I think thanks to IDEC for giving me this opportunity to interact with today's panelists, and very apt subject, very important subject. So I would like to start from our fire advisor, Mr. D.K. Shami. And, currently India is struggling for rooms for COVID patients. I think the story is very bad in Mumbai and Ahmedabad, and there are temporary hospitals being built. I think many of us, and of course Mr. Hiten by himself is involved. And I think one of the reasons which they are attributing, sir, is for restricting the heights of hospitals at 45 meters. Sir, the NBC this time got revised from 30 meters to 45 meters, but I think in Bombay, a place like Bombay or Ahmedabad, there are exceptions, but can we see a major reason, and can we see a light of hope that this can get revised? Mr. Shami,
the voice was not there. So, can you repeat your question?
So my question was, sir, one of the reasons for not having tall and larger hospitals is restricting building heights of hospital to 25 meters. Mr. Ranade and of course Mr. Dastur both have thermal-rated hospital beyond 45 meters, and there is restricted back then again. But do we see any possibility of any revision happening in this in ACCs, because country is looking for hospital rooms, specifically COVID rooms?
Thank you, for a very relevant question. But if it all bring some amendment over there, it's not going to help these COVID cases. Because this is presently, whatever you want to investigate that will take the money. So maybe definition should not help us. However, the aspect of adaptation office or the ordinance, the state legislation can get the issue notification and ordinance, and through ordinance they can ask the state authority to build whatever the type of hospital. Secondly, if you leave a few cities like Mumbai only, we have the space that if people want to build a temporary hospital like what China did, and we have for the temporary places we have a stadium also. So they can convert this stadium and the open places as a temporary route for the people to live in the COVID patient. I think you are also convinced with me that this COVID situation will last up to December 2020, if I'm not wrong. I mean, if we go to that way, we have to handle the more than lakhs patient in the different cities. So the best thing is to go ahead with the temporary arrangements. So by whatever they need, whether it is a care, whether it is a different the tentage, the responsibility then goes to the fire chief. Those are supposed to provide the fire safety of a temporary structure. So this is the short-term, short-term recommendation. However, you know very well that from 30 meters we raised to the 45 meters of height in the recent National Building Code of India. If any one of your this architect, a group of architects, or any or any group, if they are interested to suggest us by incorporating all latest technology, that how best we can evacuate the different patient from the hospital within the limited time period. You know, for us, the response time is 3 minutes to 5 minutes. So if anybody take the channel, if anybody can suggest the kind of a design, kind of a structures where he can give us the assurance that either the final safety, I mean, you just take out all the patient out from the particular hospital to the assembly point, or comparative safety. If we talk about the intelligence building, like what we have seen in the Dubai and other places, they have provided the comparative safety. So if they can work out on those kind of a design and with the help of a latest technology, probably we can push to the National Building Code of India for the another change.
Thank you. I think Shami Saab, Mr. Dastur has already demonstrated that in Ahmedabad. So, sir, can you just throw light in the recently 1200 bed hospital, how we have gone about this challenge, and what can be done by others also to follow this?
I would suggest that any hospital building being designed, especially very tall structures and all, once they should visit this SVP hospital in Ahmedabad. It has gone to 76 meters. But as rightly Shami Saab said, that comparative safety in this building is at a very higher rate. Ultimate safety cannot be immediate, and especially in hospitals, but comparative safety is very good or maybe excellent compared to anything else. Just a patient on a ventilator, maybe, if the bed can be mobile, which is holding the ventilator and everything, they just need to move maximum 30 meters on the same floor, which will give a compartment. So there are wards, there are rooms, and there is a corridor, and the other side is the staircase and ramps. Even you can go down by the ramps, but if you are in a very bad state, the patient need not be taken down. Only some patients which are very, say not very bad, they can be taken down. Otherwise, they just need to shift the bed along with everything fitted on it. And they would be at a comparative safety, because even the lift corridors and everything is segregated and protected by fire doors. So at least 2 hours, nothing can happen to them. Or even if the structure goes into flames from the floor below, they would be very safe for at least 2 hours.
So thank you. I think, Hiten sir, I think Shami Saab is suggesting that team of architects and consultants and taking support from Dastur Saab, and Randle Saab has also permitted high-rise hospitals. And if we are able to make a case, how do you see this happening? Hiten bhai, do you think we can take this message in a right spirit and create a team and maybe represent through sir and for the next revision, at least if this can happen, probably a lot of hospitals will get additional rooms. And we have seen in this crisis hour, this has been a challenge. So how do you see this happening? What do you think as an architectural and consultants like us, how can we team up and take this matter forward? Because we have a mentor who is here, who is saying that this can be done.
Yeah, I know. Pankaj, fortunately, the panel what you have selected is one of the most optimist and most progressive kind of mindsets which we'll find in this particular industry. So I am sure with these people, these faces, I know they will never say no to anything. They have a very logical mandate, and the way they address the particular issue. You told me about the hospital project in Ahmedabad. Randale Sahab has already issued, there are multi-storied hospitals in Mumbai. Point is not that. See, what I say is, see, there is a national asset in form of land. So what happens is that I've been to Israel. I've been to some hospitals because I specialize in one vertical of us, specialize in hospitals. We did study about these patterns of hospital development. So what happens and how it happens. So it's not about a building, it's about the national policy. Over the last 4 to 6 years, Prime Minister of India came up with a particular solution about 500 kilometers distance and what a beer and spoke kind of concept where he wanted so many hospitals to happen. Principally, if you know, in India, we have only one bed for 18,000 patients population. In US or Italy, we have 6 beds, one bed for every 6 number population. So this is the kind of disparity which India is seeing. So now, why do we have in this kind of recession? Why do we feel we have more excess of residential unutilized flats which are lying in the market than having less number of hospital beds which should have been there in this particular thing? So that means there is something wrong with the policies which people are not able to exploit or utilize and adopt. So what I always feel is that like NBCs are basically a national code. But when we talk about cities, there have to be very specific demand and supply kind of regulation which should be modulated. We are normally in a habit of going case to case basis. I think that is somewhere where I always find as an architect a difficult way to express in different corporations about why the bill, because they feel NBC it's not a recommended code, it's a Bible. So nobody wants to go an extra mile, take a responsibility of adding some new technology or something in which life and safety may get compromised. Because technology is somebody understands and somebody doesn't understand. If CFO doesn't understand technology, he will never accept the solution. And it is very easy for him to say no because there is no responsibility attached by saying no. But loss is national loss. Today, when this pandemic has occurred, you know what is the shortage of ICUs? You don't have enough ICUs to accommodate even today's normal patients. Every hospital you go, they are taking an affidavit saying that you will not ask for ICU beds. So idea is that this is one solution that we should have. Height should be increased to 90 meters or 120 meters, and there should be a right solution. But we are all Indians. I mean, we are all part of this nation. We have to be concerned. I mean, we should not wait for somebody giving a solution in something. We should have is like what I feel is NBC said 24 meters. Like these are the parameters to us fire rating ABC kind of building. You want to go to 90 meters. You have 3 hours, 4 hours fire rating for each and everything. You have these emergency solutions which have to be implemented. We can also work out a particular parameters in which we can allow this. The mixed use development worldwide, you can see mixed use development happening. Restaurants in live kitchens are not allowed in India. You have live kitchens happening at the top floors at the best of restaurants and bars and pubs. So you have to evolve in the whole dynamic situation. So I feel that one solution definitely is that you should have to understand that this is the kind of beds what we require. This is my plot. A builder should be more into a developer. Let's not say builder. Developer knows that even if I make a hospital, it will be equally beneficial for my cause than making a residential flat. Because of height restrictions, my potentials remain unutilized. My 300 beds is not enough to afford expensive machineries or infrastructure costs, whatever is needed for the hospital. So we need to have 1,200 beds or 1,500 beds. So similarly, the whole mandates have to work in the same direction. So to summarize, what I want to say is very simple thing, that hospital heights have to be increased. I am same propagating because I'm doing lots of universities. Education wise also I keep on propagating. It has to be increased. We are engineers. We are architects. We have to formulate a strategy that these are the minimum mandates which have to be required. You want to go 200 meters high, go 200 meters. But these are the parameters which have to be followed in 200 meters. There may be split level space kind of utilization. You can have essential services at the lower floor. You can have general rooms at the upper floor. You can have firefighting system, more robust system. So these are all ways how to sort it out. But yes, we have actually caused that. We should have done it yesterday.
Thank you, Hiten bhai. I think Randale Sahab your inputs on high-rise hospitals. I think you are the one who has also permitted, like Mr. Dastu Saab, in Mumbai, and Mumbai has been always setting good examples for the country. So I would like to hear your views also, sir.
So basically, we know that what is the land cut, all in Mumbai, and Mr. Retail City is also was working when we were doing, the height restriction, relaxation for the city of Mumbai in the hospitals. Taking into consideration of the safety of the patient, we have done more emphasis on because any hospital in the world, there is one parameter which has to be taken into consideration, that the vertical rescue. No doubt, here what we are doing is we don't have a choice, because in Calcutta the things are happening, in fact in Mumbai also, okay, where we had to do a vertical rescue scenario, and that worst case scenario has to really required to be should not be there. So taking into real problems in case of high-rise building, what we did is we did a more emphasis on a passive rather than an active. And also, in case of rescue, something happens in case of rescue, it is what do you call it, the second tower outside the building, which is impossible. It is not practical solution, but within a building, we made a corridor, we made a smoke check lobby wherein you have lift or otherwise external device. If at all it is in a future, if at all there is a problem, then self-rescue can happen. So that's what we emphasize on it. In fact, in Harkishan Das Hospital, we made a whole corridor which is directly connected to the lift, which is directly connected to the staircase, and there are 2-3 ingredients we have given so that no penetration of the smoke can happen. So that is one thing. Now the real-time situation in Mumbai, 7,000 beds in a phase 1 in a temporary shed are getting ready. Like the BKC COVID, this is one of the challenging situation for us. In fact, we cannot, because the rush of the time, and there's always a practical solution which is required to be looked into. Like rush of the time is basically one thing happens, you have one side all the safety parameters which I know as a chief officer they cannot do it. We did a portable tanks in BKC. We did a portable kind of not portable, but fixed fire installation where the ring hydrants were put into. We did a fire pump over there. And apart from that, recently there is one innovation now, which is going to be a practical solution. Now I am going to recruit 1,000 security guards. I am going to get them trained. I'm not going to make them fire officer. What we are doing is, like Dr. Saab has just said me a 150 liters capacity portable tank with the fire pump and as well as the hose reel. Okay. So if at all immediate intervention required, this is the practical solution which has to be looked into. No doubt beam detectors are required, but the rush of time is such as before our compliance, the COVID BKC started. See, in one parameter, we say that after fire, so many people will die. If at all they wait for our compliance, so many people will die. You understand? So this is very, very critical situations what we are facing now. And in fact, I'm happy to share my practical experience with you guys. We did a fantastic job as far as the BKC COVID is there. It's a practical solution. No doubt the PI is going to be there on a fire safety norms, which was rather, there is some politics issues which are going to happen. But this practical difficulty has to, in a given scenario, has to solve with a practical solution. So now there is no kind of like, आपके NBC में ये है, मेरे DCR में ये है, इतना लोग है, इतना लोगों का partition है, then you have oxygen line going in, these all are the hazard. Okay, no doubt, we do a lot of recommendation, but it is impractical. I am as a chief fire officer saying that it is impractical. No COVID center will come up with if they adhere to all my safety standards. But taking into the consideration the present scenario and the need of the hours, we really modified everything, and because they want each COVID center to have a fire engine. It is impossible for us now to use a fire engine. My whole team, almost, I think I have now statistic around 70 officers and staff, more than 80 officers and staff are COVID positive. Out of that, around 30 are hospitalized. 7 death. So these are the practical issues which is happening. Still, we are coping up the situation. The monsoon is coming. Now, my flood response team has to work. Apart from that, your social distancing, whatever we say, it is on a paper. The reason is okay. On the standard station, we are taking care of everything. We are having a thermometer, we have a oximeter, we have a fantastic sanitization program. But what about the people who are traveling? And when we did we chase the contact person, it comes to know that nothing is happening within the fire station. Whatever the cases are happening, they are remote, like Dombivli, Virar. These all cases are coming from that side. Okay, so these are the practical things, and in this, I am into the board as a chief officer and director of Maharashtra Fire Services. That there is need of a practical solution. अगर कुछ होता है, and there is a Richardson crew. I told the assistant commissioner, it is Laksha Gradal. If something goes wrong, it will go into the fire like anything. It's a practical life. Out of where we went, there is a jail now which is present now, the UPL, and we have done practical this is training, wherein any combustible, it's not, I'm talking about the fire retardant painting or something like that. I'm talking about the jail which are available in market. We have done this demo 2 days, the demo on Sunday or Monday, there will be a proper demo wherein on any combustible, you put this gel, the combustibility of this material goes down. So there's new innovations we have to be carried out, and there's the only way we have to do it. That's my, and I think on-site portable pumps, good training to the security guard. See, there is one thing one has to understand. The police officers can be replaced by the paramilitary. Paramilitary can be replaced by the military. But what is the replacement for the firemen? The firemen require to become a fireman, you require an incubation period. मैरिज करने के बाद 9 महीना जैसा लगता है वैसा 6 महीना 8 महीना तुमको प्रैक्टिकली ट्रेनिंग देना पड़ता है. Then we become a fireman. So there is no replacement. We know that it is not going to be very easy. Luckily, I have a director, Maharashtra Fire Service. I have all recruits, those who are already trained, and I do have a waiting list with them. Today only there was a meeting with the central government, central team. I said that I already have the team, and most probably on a contractual basis for a time in 6 months or 8 months, we are going to get around 1,000 security guard, maybe around 300, 400 firemen, maybe assistant station officer around 100. So these are the strategical things which is required to foresee, because it is because I am also actually handling security, so I know inside what is happening. I know what are the what stage the healthcare is. I know if at all we are not onto the peak also. Apart from that, now dengue, malaria, and the COVID, pneumonia, jaundice. So just it's going to be a very complex kind of a situation. So taking into all this the future, the near future, definitely what we really have to do a whole modus of operation, in a different way. And the second one is, as far as the hospital healthcare, now it is the right time. We should really think about the practical thing on a passive measure, on a horizontal level. If there are certain things which architect or the professionals can suggest us, we should incorporate it with our own practical experience. We should incorporate that thing into NBC. That is, there is no way you people or we people can go back now, because healthcare is now is a big question mark on a healthcare, and now we have to learn live with the COVID. So that is one thing. And as far as to the end, one thing is, you take care of your own, sir. Isopropyl alcohol, I did a whole research on it. We have a 30,000 liters. I stored 30,000 liters in my. So in a one go, I spoken with the Nikhil Shetty. You know how much we have taken out in a 1.5 months? More than 18,000 liters, not 18, 22,000 liters we use for the sanitization. And 70% of the 70 to 75% of alcohol, which is rather sanitizer, all sanitizers are using. There was a hype कि वो गाड़ी में रखेगा तो गाड़ी जल जाता है, ये होता है, उसका पता नहीं है. They're using it consistently. Today there was a ferry boat which went from Mandwa to Alibag, sorry, Mumbai to Alibag. The CM and his Aditya Thackeray Saab ji will not believe with the security. My team was there, not as a fire officer, with the backpack with the isopropyl alcohol. So the change of things are happening, and I also suggest all fire officers, actually you should put the sanitization program what we are doing, and there are some casualties which have happened, but still I think in a given scenario we are really taking care of everybody. And in fact, you will be happy to know that I myself started COVID center for firemen, dedicated for a fireman in BMC, sorry, in fire brigade headquarters. There is a 30 beds which are only for us now. Almost 80% got occupied, but we are not only taking care of non-symptomatic positive patients. And also there is another building which I already made ready, that is for the high-risk patient, that is CCC1. And CCC2 already started. We have a dedicated for doctors, nurses, housekeeping, and everything is 5-star kind of a stuff item. So these are the things has to be put in, and we have to be self-sufficient. That is what my learning is. So I diverted myself to something, but I think this kind of stuff really required for all the fire services, to really take into consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we started from high-rise building issues, and where I'm really delighted that we have some good assurances coming from Dastur Saab, Randle Saab, and also Shami Saab has promised. And from architect side, Hiten Bhai, we will form this and quickly take and we will constructively go forward and create these suggestions. I'm very confident that we will come with suggestions which will then get imparted and maybe complete India, not only Ahmedabad, Bombay, but complete India will get benefit out of this. Of course, as suggested by Shami Saab, you also, Randle Saab, in the process touched the challenges which you faced for temporary hospitals. And I would ask even Hiten Bhai, because he has been architect for several such projects which are now currently happening. So Hiten Bhai, as from architectural point of view, what all challenges you are facing? Can you just sum up in quickly what the points which are not covered by Randle Saab, and you could even tell me that?
See, the point is, first of all, let me call it, let's name this particular process of converting or erecting a temporary this thing as retrofitting, because you need a space to convert it into a COVID hospital or emergency hospitals. Now, like I'm already doing two projects. One is Vashi Exhibition Center, which was basically a exhibition place, which is to be converted into quarantine center, not for extreme cases. So there are no ICU beds over there. And I'm doing the similar project in Kalyan for 600 beds, which is a hospital with around 45 to 50 ICU beds. So, and I mean, these are two different kind of beds. So, point is, the first thing is the properties which are being taken over, maybe either the government's property or it's a private property. When it's a government property, then you still have some data which you can always get it, because you are sure that the DBRs would have been very adequately framed and implemented for that particular use. So role of an architect or designer at that particular stage is to evaluate what is required for the hospital purpose, and most importantly, the trend of this particular hospital. In healthcare also, you know, the hospital patterns, traffic patterns are quite different. Patient patterns are quite different. I'm doing oncology center, the patient patterns are different. So the whole design changes according to the kind of thing. So these are the places where the quantum of patients are going to be addressing at the same time. So those particular things, when you keep it in mind, then your water requirement, water availability, your electrical availability, your firefighting norms which are existing, the fire tanks which are there, what are the sprinkler systems which have been provided, how you are going to put wards in a particular way that the same sprinkler systems can be used, or perhaps you have to make new systems. Now you don't have time to create new sprinkler system. What Mr. Rangale jaise bata rahe hain ki everything was an emergency. So you create the hydrant systems in such a way that that particular thing is pressurized into all this. So you need to come out with some innovative solutions to tackle all these particular things. General hospitals, we are so concerned and so conscious about 2 hours fire rating of or whatever facilities are required. Here you are actually shifting to a particular place where you are not aware about the kind of construction which has been done. So you need to update that particular time to convert those particular elements into 2 hours fire rating in some way or the other. So I think it's a very intricate kind of engineering which comes into play. Space planning at the same time, MEP planning is happening at the same time, firefighting, address system, everything needs to be placed properly. Then there are COVID guidelines which have been given. I think Rangale must have followed the guidelines which have come from Government of India about setting up a COVID centers, right from the location part, accessibility of patients to evacuation of these particular patients need to be organized. Like I'm doing in a mall, and in the mall usage is absolutely different than a hospital usage. So what kind of exit systems I'll have to create, and evacuation systems have to be created. Then there is one contaminated zone and a general infected zone. How it can be to be said. So I mean, I have a case study. I mean, I can always share it with you if you have time. But then these are all kind of things have to be worked out in simultaneously. And the time given in inverted commas by any corporation right now is 20 days for setting up these particular things.
Yeah, I think it's
so it's very important for any engineer or an architect to have a standard guidelines which he has to implement into those particular things. Vis-a-vis, like I am always the commissioners or the leaders of that particular zone have always told me either we need 700 beds. But you know, with all these particular things, your efficiency cannot go up more than 450 beds. I mean, you have to be very straight with them, because here you cannot compromise now. You have already compromised on the perfection of the particular services in a particular way that what facilities have to be. You have already come out with a value engineered solutions for in that particular time frame to feed to all the requirements what NBC asked for. Like he was saying, tanks have to underground tank. You don't have firefighting tank to hold to that particular capacity. So you have to go for some other temporary tanking system which helps you to create that particular thing. So in some places we have converted even the domestic tanks as a part of fire tank, and for domestic we have put syntax tanks, so that the fire tank is a proper underground RCC tank. So you have to come out with this particular solution. Now you cannot. My Kalyan mall was a khanda right now. I mean, it's under construction. So I don't have overhead tanks which are available to me. So my choice becomes you immediately put pneumatic system, or you put some temporary solutions of this particular pneumatic system. Timelines were this much, but setting up time is this much. So at every scale, you have to just come out with a particular immediately a value engineered solution to put in the whole thing. But I wish
Yeah, I think going forward, we will have to think about, in all cities, we'll have to think about temporary infrastructure, which will
no
become
disaster
important
management. I'm a part of
component
that.
of city planning. Yeah.
Pankaj bhai, I'm a part of MOEF, and we have a very strong chapter where we always talk about disaster management plans and environmental management plans. I'm surprised, but individually, yes, every private or government project component has have its DMP and EMP in place. What has happened to the city? What happened? Did we not know that we can have these kind of extremities which may come one day? I mean, this is not over. We are talking about sending clips to each other, showing that this is the kind of viral this thing which can. I think every third serial was having 5 years back this kind of thing situation happening. We were not ready for it. We were taking things for granted. I think
it's a very hard learning for all of us.
Labor says, I was asking one of the commissioners, I said, labor says you've been collecting crores of rupees in labor says. What happened to the migrant labor? They didn't have even a place to walk in. We were able to provide them the solution after 10 days of they started migrating. What happened to your disaster management plans?
Yeah, I think you are on right spot. It's a very delicate spot. So I will not get into that major issues which country is facing. Of course, we'll restrict our discussions to today's topic. So coming back to Mr. Jha, you are making special hospital doors, and do you think that market shift could happen post COVID-19, where we will be talking about special hardwares for the door, which are going into fire doors into hospitals, where integration of access, smoke, pressurization, all will also get attached to touchless features, and that could add to complexity, but I'm sure the industry will be prepared for this. So how do you see this as an opportunity, Mr. Rajesh Jha?
So, I take this opportunity to introduce myself as a leading fire door manufacturer for Indian domestic market. Although supplying lot many doors to across India to all the hospitals, but post-COVID situation has changed, and we need to change. For the regular hardwares, till now, all hardware, whatever we use in our doors, has to be minimum 120 minutes of fire rated. Like my door is 120 minutes fire rated, so my hardware has to also be 120 minutes fire rated. But nowadays, no one wants to touch the hardware, no one wants to touch the handles. So I need to integrate my door with my hold open device. So my door will remain in open condition in my corridor area, in my lobby area. It can be, once there is fire, once there is an emergency, this hold open device will get detached with the help of my BMS system. This will be for all the public area, not for the area where I need to make an exit from the building. Because as per my codal requirement, I need to keep my door in closed position. This is one segment for all the fire doors. But there are several other doors also, like my clean room doors, like my OT door area, like my sampling area. So there I need to have clean room, clean facility, antibacterial hardwares are required now. Plus, with the help of my access point, I mean access control, or with waving my hand, my door should get open. So hardwares are now available in the market, although it was available, but it was little costlier. We were not really putting forward or we were not using. But nowadays it is in high demand. We can replace same door, no need to replace complete door. We can replace same door with new set of hardware so that my remaining existing doors should work in similar manner and my area should remain safe for transmission of this COVID situation.
Thank you. I think that the COVID is going to create a lot of awareness on hygiene and sanitation standards. So I think it is going to complement your business. Good news for you, Rajesh ji. I think that's a good point. Shami Saab, I think many healthcare facilities were asked to close down during lockdown 1, 2, 3. However, from lockdown 4 onwards, government is insisting to have started reopening all facilities. So my question will be to, will it affect the fire safety of the hospital, and what care should be taken? What is your message to various hospital management people and all that?
Thank you, Pankaj bhai. As you rightly said, that few facilities were asked to close, shut off, and then rather reduce the operations, and that affect the total the availability of a firefighting system. I mean, they failed to maintain it. You just refer the part 12 of the National Building Code of India. They have categorically said that you cannot compromise with the maintenance part of it. Since last 3 months, nobody even allowed to enter inside of any building. So you I mean, can't think of what kind of a problem they are facing. My really concern is that immediately those who are opening these facilities, first of all, they should ask the maintenance people to come and check all those systems, what all provided during the working of all these healthy hospitals or the healthcare facilities. I am totally, absolutely, rather I can say that I am absolutely firm that more than 50% of facilities you will not find in a working condition. The reason is very clear. As per our norms, we ask the maintenance people to pass water from the steel pipe. Since last 3 months, nobody did that. So there must be chances of corrosion and whatnot. So my strict message to all these facility managers that you should immediately allow someone to go with the preventive maintenance. There is a chart in the National Building Code of India that what kind of a maintenance is supposed to do it. So immediate task is allow someone to go and do the maintenance part of it. Number 2, it's not only the maintenance part of it. Now, nobody is taking care of the awareness, which is very essential part. Nobody is thinking of the fire evacuation drill. You cannot do right now, but at least they can give some messages to the people, those who are coming and accumulating over there. As rightly said by Mr. Prabhat Randele, that we are now sitting at the Lakshagra, that any time it will click the fire. Reason is we are using a lot of PVC material as our PP kit. We are using a lot of sanitizer, which is alcohol based. These 2 things are there, and we are allowing people. So where the overcrowding is concerned, every time we are asking them to use sanitizer to sanitize your hand. So this all 3 will increase more problem. At the same time, Mr. Hitan said that he is doing for the temporary hospital. We cannot avoid this. This is a pandemic. This is a national problem. We have to support that. But from my side, it is a message to the all fire brigade that they should take extra care, extra miles to ensure the fire safety of temporary hospital. Because all my nation people, they are suffering. I mean, they are suffering in a big way. We should protect them. We should provide them. Though, Pankaj bhai, we forget to pay the homage to the firefighter, those identified as a courier, this COVID barrier, and they lost their lives. So my humble request to, whenever you start all these things, we should pay some homage to them. That's number one, and dedicate this entire session for their sacrificing their life. They are really the front runner. I am collecting all the information. What happened once I interacted with the Odisha chief, and I surprised to see that their men were doing this all sanitation work with some bare hands and with on this half pant and t-shirt. I said, what you are doing? You should have the PPE. The next day he called me up and said, the immediately state administration with the chartered flight asked a lot of PPE for these firemen along with the hospital staff. So these things are there, and I want to communicate to them that whenever they are doing the sanitization work, they should wear proper PPE. We cannot afford to lose another fireman. So,
can I intervene? शमी साहब एक सेकंड के लिए ये सब्जेक्ट आया इसलिए see what we did is a learning from the experience. पहले हम लोगों ने सैनिटाइजेशन किया कि बेसिकली सैनिटाइजेशन करने के टाइम में ना we don't get the COVID, to be frank with you, okay, because we are away. Only our problem was we are using sodium hypochlorite, and वो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का गाइडलाइन को भी हम लोगों ने बाजू में किया. We are not using 1% because that 1% is basically used in bleaching kind of a stuff in a swimming pool or something like that. Here we are doing the atmospheric and we are doing it regularly. That's the reason we are doing it 0.5, which is safer limit. But my issue is not that now. My issue is different as a fireman. I am getting a call in an inside room. People are trapped. You understand? Like individual who have a comorbidity and he have a I don't know how it is happening. Like one person he is keeping himself into home quarantine. He is individual, and next day is not opening the door, and we are getting the call to rescue him. So that's the reason we develop one PPE. That PPE is basically our regular PPE is okay. This is EN standard. EN standard. I'll share the standard. The only problem with that is for the COVID and is reusable. Okay, reusable. But the only problem with that is the sunlight. So they had a very thin cotton underline into it. Now we are already done this on a CSR basis. 1,000 is already got, and now I'm going on a tender for more than 2,500 for my firemen. So it's a multiple. So that is what I am saying, that everything is changing and we have to change accordingly. My regular firefighting cannot be replaced. My 3-layer cannot be replaced. But my 60% calls are non-fire, where at least I can give this PPE to my firemen, wherein they will be safe. That is my intention. Thank you very much.
I think many firefighters are involved in disinfections of hospitals and other healthcare facilities. So what is your advice to them, to the firefighters, sir, coming from what sir is saying? So what is your advice to them?
Sorry, Pankaj, it was overlapped. You asked me to give the answer for the disinfection or what?
I said as we are now realizing that many firefighters, in fact all of them, are involved in disinfections of hospitals and healthcare facilities and various other parts of the country and cities. So what is your advice to them, to your firefighters?
My clear message to all of them is, don't compromise with the safety standard. Should not come in between the gun and the final destination. They're supposed to wear all PPE, whatever is prescribed by the government of India, or what all they have. That's the number one message to them. Number two, since they are
again, Shami Sahab, again, Government of India doesn't have a guideline for the PPE to be used by the firemen during this COVID for 60% non-fire call.
Okay.
That is my issue.
Okay.
That's the reason, as far as we are into, the Mumbai is actually hot seat, okay? Maximum COVID. Learning from the experience, I'll share my PPE. You should put this in a normal clothes. You have to have this kind of overall, which will protect my fire.
Yeah, that's why I have already covered this message through my article, and I have highlighted the need to have this kind of a PPE for firemen, and I said that in the USA, UK, and other places they are following the NFPA and their own guidelines. What all they should do to it. Like wearing the right kind of a PPE, the one they said N95 and whenever you leave, you have to disinfect, sanitize everything. Your equipment, including
again, practically with the L95 mark. It is once it's get away, my fireman cannot. That is the reason why. No, the point is for reusable mask. See, NFPA standard in the US and other places they use it hazmat kit to be frankly, but in a real condition and an absolute condition where we are, it is impossible to use that for a longer period. So taking into all these considerations, we are not going to standard year standard when we are modified by a year is maximum safeguard. So we are applying. So these are the modifications which are never put in place as far as and customize solution.
I agree with you. I agree with you. The process of the time we can incorporate the standard level of PPE. So what you are sharing, maybe if you give something in a pen and white, immediately I try to push these ideas or IIS from my office and directly right to all the chiefs. They should also follow this based on your experience. So thank you very much for sharing your all this experience with me, because I was totally depending on the EN, NFPA and other standard for the since all the standards, all those guidelines have been issued by the government, even supported by the health organization. So I said, first, our government of India's guidelines. Second, if you are not finding any guidelines relating to all these people, we should follow the guidelines issued by the WHO. Then you will add that. And that precisely I covered in my article, which is available on the media.
Thank you, Shami Saab. Thank you, Rana Saab, for that interesting information. Dastur Saab, we all now are realizing that there are a number of firefighting equipment which are now being used for sanitization of cities, and this is going to impact the life of equipments since you are using the chlorides. And what is going to be action plan in Gujarat and elsewhere in the country, because a lot of equipments are pumping systems and all your high pressure stuff is getting used for sanitation, and you are using chloride. So just what is that Gujarat is thinking about it?
The only problem we will face in future or in short future will be disposing all the or having new tanks for the fire tender. We are using high pressure mist system which does not get affected by the sodium hypochlorite. Only thing is the tanks. Though we have these tanks which are lined by very good quality anti-corrosive, yeah. So till now there is no leakage in the tanks. It is now about 70 days we are using it. But the short replacement would be high density plastic tanks.
So, but what will happen to the current pumping systems and stuff if they get corroded? Means, are you what? How is the way forward? Means, what is being thought about it?
That
is don't compromise with the safety standard. Should not.
Mumbai is actually, hot seat, okay? Maximum COVID. Learning from the experience, I share my PPE. You should put this, normal clothes you have to have this kind of overall, which will protect my fire.
Yeah, that's why I have already covered this message through my article, and I have highlighted the need to have this kind of a PPE for firemen. And I said that in the USA, UK, and other places, they are following the NFPA and their own guidelines. What all they should do it, like wearing the right kind of a PPE is the one. They said that you have to wear only an N95 mask, and whenever you are dealing, you have to disinfect, sanitize everything, including your equipment, including
again, practical difficulty with the N95 mask. Once it get wet, my fireman cannot. So that's the reason 0.3 micron reusable mask we are ordering. See, NFPA standard in the US and other places, they are using hazmat kit, to be frank with you. But in a real condition, an atmospheric condition, where we are working, it is impossible to use that for a longer period. So taking into all this consideration, we have gone for the EN standard. EN standard में हम लोगों ने modify किया है because you cannot use it on a maximum exposure to the sunlight cannot be. So to safeguard, so we have an internal lighting. So these are the modifications which are required to be put into a place as far as the atmospheric condition and customized solution.
I agree with you. I agree with you. With the passage of time, we can incorporate this standard. We have the standard for PPE. So what you are sharing, probably if you give something in a black and white, we can immediately try to push through the BIS, or I, from my office, can directly write to all the chiefs that they should also follow this based on your experience. So thank you very much for sharing all this rich experience with me, because I was totally depending on the EN, NFPA, and other standard for the first responders. Since all those standards, all those guidelines have been issued by their government, even supported by the World Health Organization. So I said, first, our Government of India's guideline. Second, in case you are not finding any guidelines relating to all this PPE, you should follow the guidelines issued by the WHO. They have categorically said that. And that precisely I covered in my article, which is available on the media.
Thank you, Shami Saab. Thank you, Ranle Saab, for that interesting information. Dastur Saab, we all now are realizing that there are a number of firefighting equipments which are now being used for sanitization of cities, and this is going to impact the life of equipments since you are using the chlorides. And what is going to be action plan in Gujarat and elsewhere in the country, because a lot of equipments are all pumping systems and all your high pressure stuff is getting used for sanitation, and you are using chloride. So Dastur Sahab, what is that Gujarat is thinking about it?
The only problem we will face in future or in short future will be disposing all the having new tanks for the fire tender. We are using high pressure mist system, which does not get affected by the sodium hypochlorite. Only thing is the tanks. Though we have these tanks which are lined by very good quality anti-corrosive, so till now there is no leakage in the tanks. It is now about 70 days we are using it. But the short replacement would be high density plastic tanks.
Correct. So, but what will happen to the current pumping systems and stuff if they get corroded? Means, how is the way forward? Means, what is being thought about it?
That may be a situation, but we are using this high pressure pumps which have ceramic pistons and all, so they are not affected by this high sodium hypochlorite.
Because by in a short run, I think we cannot change any one of our this present system. But based on the experience of Mr. Dastur, Mr. Prabhat Rangele, we can think of amending something for the pumping unit, which required to be used for this kind of a situation, this kind of pandemic situation, because sodium hypochlorite is eating up the MS part of all the pumping thing, you know. And from the Odisha also they complained. They said, but presently we are doing it. In the future, they may replace it like what Mr. Dastur said, that they may use the ceramic based and rather the steel based impeller, which will help them to use this as a disinfectant. I also want to share one very important information with all of you. You know, in 2003, when I introduced the mist system based on the rich experience of Mr. Dastur from the Ahmedabad, so everybody started laughing on it, that what you are doing it. And Pankaj Bhai, in the first phase, we distributed more than 1,200 such pumping this mist technology in India. Now, you will be surprised to see that all this available equipment have been used for disinfection. In addition, what Mr. Dastur has developed, what Mr. Prabhat has developed, and you know, in Delhi also they borrowed something from the Ahmedabad. So they are using the different machines, but as a base, they are using the mist technology pumping unit for the disinfection of most of the area. I think, Mr. Dastur, you agree with me? Most of the people are using the mist-based technology.
Yes, yes, correct.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think at FSI also, sir, we have given to Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation and also to Mumbai some high pressure 80 bar pressure portable systems, and we specially developed them for places like Dharavi and walled cities, and they have been used. But I think today has been a wonderful day to listen to all your ideas, and I think continuous innovation, as Mr. Rangele, even in PPEs, I think is the need of hour, and the adaptation to new technologies which can be done at a great speed is something which we are all learning. And thank you, Rajesh ji, thank you, Dastur ji, thank you, Hiten bhai, thank you, Prabhat ji. I think
before closing, I just wanted to add something, okay?
Please.
I was in Ahmedabad with Dastur Sahab once, okay? तो हम लोग ऐसे ही डिस्कस कर रहे थे, तो दस्तूर साहब बोलता है यार ये फायर फाइटिंग के ऊपर है ना, पीपल आर सो मच लाइक यू नो, इधर से टेक्निक, इधर से न्यूमेटिक, इधर से ये actually is require one pipe, okay, and nozzle and a pump, whether it is from a gravitational or whether it is coming from the outside, okay. Now I am really thinking another line, to be frank with you, why not to have this kind of a portable pumps on each floor? Ask your security guy, okay, if something happens so very easily, you know, we can go there and find the wire. Only in case of emergency, only this pump, this
hydrant system,
high-rise building installation will be used only by the fire service. And it is the time to time that they should have a, like, kitna bhi karo, city like a Mumbai is so advanced, still we have a 80% of deficiency. हम लोग ठोकरे मार रहे हैं, उसके बावजूद भी 20 more than, I'm actually ambitious to say that 20-30% people are following it. Okay, boss, मेरे को fire brigade equivalent दे रहे हो, first class में, and now there are good pumps which are we have to put into बड़ा कुछ हो गया, ये पाइप है, मेरा पंप है, तुम्हारा टाकी है, मैं जाके अंगार बुझा रहा हूँ, तुम्हारे हर एक जगह पे एक पोर्टेबल वाला जो है उसको मेंटेन करो, अंगार भी बुझाओ, रोज तुम्हारा क्या बोलते हैं सैनिटाइजेशन के लिए उसको यूज करो. These are the things that are really required. ये बड़ा इंजीनियरिंग दक्षता बराबर.
So that was wonderful for closing remarks from Mr. Randale. I think we have come back from permanently fixed building to portable systems.
Don't worry, I'm not telling that not to have a sprinkler system. But that is required.
This is on lighter note.
Bottom line is that we need more than.
But Mr. Hitan, be careful about the Lakshagra. Don't create it. Right now, you have all those power to create some temporary structure. Try to involve the administration, convey the message. Since this is a temporary structure, you cannot achieve the fire rating, you cannot achieve the evacuation. So there is a need that from the fire brigade side, somebody should be closely associated with the safety part of it. Since it's a temporary phase, and all we love to do that. Look, there are
have come back from
permanent staff from the
permanently fixed building
my
portable system.
Don't worry, I'm not telling that not to have a sprinkler system. But that is required.
Thank you. This is on lighter note for joining us. Thank you, Randale sir. Thank you, Shami sir. Thank you, Hitan bhai. And thank you, Fidek, for giving me this opportunity to get input from such wonderful personalities and legends of our country from fire and life safety industry. Thank you so much.
Wishes you all COVID free.
Bye, everybody.
Yes, we are like down to fire brigade side. Somebody should
IDAC is a knowledge-sharing platform, and we have launched Ask IDAC, an interactive networking forum for the build professionals of the construction industry. We have got a lot of interesting questions from the audience, but however, due to time constraints, our panelists will be able to answer only a few. We will make sure your questions don't go unanswered. All the pending questions will be answered by our industry stalwarts on www.askidac.com. Over to you, Pankaj sir. You can take up the questions that we've received from the audience. I think Shami sir, your camera.
Thank you, Devanshi. So this first question is for Mr. First question is from Mr. Naveen Kotian, and this is to both my guests from the Mr. Dastoor and Randale Saab. Any one of you can answer this. I mean, he's asking whether even if we allow building structures more than 75 meters, is fire brigade team have ladders which can reach more than 90 meters? So I think it is well understood that if a hospital of higher size is being permitted, the building will have to have its equipment, the egress system in place. But I would like you to take this interesting question. Perspective of Gujarat and Maharashtra both will be quite interesting, particularly for Mumbai and Ahmedabad, where high-rise hospitals have come up. Randale Saab or Dastoor Saab, you can both give your perspective, sir. This is from Naveen Kotian.
Randale Saab, begin. I'll join you.
Okay. You know that Mumbai is being like the city of iodine, and number of whatever the answer I am going to give is practical, because practically we fought this kind of a fight recently. Not this hospital fire I'm talking about, but recently there was actually a fire on a maybe at 110 meters. That is last year, uh, June month. Believe me, the ladders, they do serve purpose in a sense. They do serve the purpose in a sense. We require to have a resource. Apart from that, I don't, as a firefighter, I don't believe into that. I believe into an internal system. I believe into an internal active system. I believe into an internal passive system. On that day, luckily, the fire pump was really working. More than a 5 hours operation was there. Non-stop fire pump were working. The hydrant system was working. Even the sprinkler system was working. Now, even though there is a sprinkler system, why then fire got the concentration of fire went so high? The reason is simple. What are the sprinkler system we design, and what is the fire load factor which is there into that apartment was literally a two different scenarios, because they do have their bar, they do have their liquor, they do have a best of the furniture, and then whether this system, sprinkler system, in case of high concentrated fire will work or not, that was the question. In fact, it is not. In fact, the sprinkler system and the detector, human detector system are only for giving detection of the fire. And the sprinkler system, if at all, the fire is in very preliminary stage, and if get activated, and if that get controlled, then the sprinkler system works. But as far as I am concerned, as a firefighter, we require to have our own resources at whatever the floor. That's the reason we came with evacuation lift. We were the pioneer, or rather, we are the first fire services to have a dedicated fire service, fire men lift, which is rather into a no doubt we did a lot of modification now into, which is already integral part of the NBC. So basically, your firefighting system and your building required to fight its own fire. The building required to have a resources in a such a way that any resources in case of intervention of emergency services or professional people are required, that resources will be available with the building. Now, why we are buying this ladders? The reason is, I said, in Mumbai city, more than a 80% of the building, more than not 80%, more than 95% of buildings, they are below 70. And these 70 floor buildings are age-old buildings. They are aging buildings. Now they are going for the redevelopment, wherein the high rises are coming. In this scenario, around 80% of the building doesn't maintain their fire system. In this case, the majority of the fires, wherein, and apart from that, we do have another challenge, that the higher Jhoppadpatti, that is SRA building, which are not at all maintained. So now, in that scenario, what we should have, that's the reason we emphasize, or rather we emphasize to have a 70 meters ladder or 68-meter ladder or 80 meters, so that my resources can be deployed. So anything you wanted to do as far as the fire safety is concerned, whether it's the hospital, whether it's the business building, whether it's the residence, the resource mobilization is always going to be a challenge, and to work on that resource mobilization, you require to have the resources which are available. That doesn't mean that if I have a 70-meter or 90-meter ladder, then I cannot go more than that. Your building is self-sufficient. It really serves the purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhatji. Well said. I think I would like to take Mr. Dasturji also from Ahmedabad.
Hi, good evening, everybody. As I remember, I said that this building in Ahmedabad is 75, 76 meters in height.
Hello.
You should pay just one visit to see what is done. I'll introduce something to you. There are two external staircases on each side of the building. It's a long building. There are two more staircases in the center, though outside, but in the center part of the building, along with the ramps. Then a corridor and then the wards. So the building is divided horizontally into beautiful compartmentation, which is wards, corridor.
Dastu sir, just wanted to interrupt. There is a big fire in Copper Market. I'll come back to you if at all if it is normalized.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ranjali. Yeah.
So then there are two basements. Each basement is about 6 meters in height. So and provided with positive pressure ventilation. Also an exhaust system. So this can take about 8 air changes per hour. Then we have high pressure sprinklers, which are 15 kg, 15 liters per minute, which are across the whole building. There is no part left. And density is more because these have lower output, but a high pressure. So they give a very good cooling effect compared to our normal sprinklers. Then the building itself is a metal and concrete structure. So then it is protected and it has 2 hours full load fire resistance. All the compartmentation in between the wards, in between the corridors, in between the doors, they are all fire doors, 2 hours fire resistant. Then it has high pressure, handheld high pressure mist system, which is 75 liters per minute at 100 bar. And they are about 8 hose reels each floor. So you can compare. And the terrace has a helipad which has 400 liters per minute of mist, and you can send along foam with it. There are double connection, and there are 8 monitors. So it depends upon the wind direction and where the helicopter is going to land. You can engulf the helicopter in full mist. So that is all what we have actually tested without a helicopter, of course, but we have tested it with foam, without foam. And depending on the wind direction, the operator on the lower part of the helipad can operate monitors as and when required, depending on the direction of wind. Now, this question about the ladder. Even if you have a 90-meter ladder, you have a 100-meter ladder, you cannot evacuate patients who are ambulant on these ladders. It is very difficult or may not be possible. Because they are on bed, on ventilators. So what we have planned is in the building that even if you move a patient out of a ward, out of an ICU with all the gadgets attached to the bed, if the bed comes out from the ward to the corridor and to the ramp, even corridor is safer, or on the left or the right wing, then it becomes totally safe. One more thing is, except a very nicely protected wiring, there is no fire load except some electrical gadgets and mattresses. There is no fire load in the building as such. So I don't think any way an external firefighting or external evacuation is required. You can do it right from within the building.
Thank you. I think that answers a lot of queries from a lot of people. We discussed earlier that the time has come when Shami Saab, your team should look at the confidence which directors of Maharashtra and Gujarat are having to permit high-rise hospital. And isn't it a good news, Hiten Bhai, as earlier said by Shami Saab, that in terms of seeking permissions, and why not 45 meters becomes barrier with self-sustaining and self-imposed building with good facilities. I'm sure government should look, and the NBC team should look forward to permit, sir, this amendment should come, because at COVID time we are finding it extremely difficult. This is a time when we are realizing probably not permitting high-rise hospitals, we could have added many more rooms systematically. So Hiten bhai, I think I would like you to add, and then I will like a concluding comment on this important matter from Shami sir.
No, I think Shami Sab was quite positive earlier the day that we should all sit down together, and I think
Yeah.
we should start with a single sentence. Why not? And then we
Absolutely.
can. It will be easier for all of us to answer how it can be overcome. So I think my underlying principle with the positive energies and vibes, what we all minds can get together, we should immediately work on the principle, because we cannot afford to have the same kind of condition what we had for our people, lack of beds, lack of hospitals, lack of everything, facilities again. So I think the bottom line is that let's reassess our natural, our country's wealth in terms of health beds available in the hospitals, and reevaluate our strategies so that we are better prepared next time.
Thank you. I think Shami Sab, your addition on this.
Thank you, Pankaj bhai. Look, my final conclusion is that
Sir, your voice is.
you're not getting my voice.
Sir, you're not
It's very
audible.
low, sir.
You can talk without the headphones, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, now it is.
Now you're getting me.
Yes,
Hello?
yes.
Okay. I just want to say that this National Building Code of India is not a static document. It's a dynamic document. And based on the rich experience of Mr. Dastur, Mr. Ramgele, and so many chiefs, and the person like Mr. Hiten, we'll sit together. We will try to find out the all possible solution. And if it permits, and if the fire brigade, equip themselves to handle such kind of a high-rise hospitals, we will definitely ensure to introduce a high-rise hospital in the National Building Code of India. It is not difficult. As all of you are aware that we have already permitted a residential building to go beyond the reach of the local fire brigade. Now you can have the superstructure. Noida is coming up. Assam is thinking to have a 270 meters of building. So we are very open. So Pankaj bhai, I think under your leadership, because you are already working with the high-rise buildings of the world, and with the rich experience of Hiten, Mr. Dastur and Prabhat, and definitely with the involvement of Mr. Dehri and so many people, we will come out with a solution, and very soon you will have the changes in the National Building Code of India. That's my promise.
Well said,
That's
well said.
great, sir. Thank you so much. I think the next question is to you, Hiten bhai. You just said some time back about the temporary hospitals which you are designing and doing. There is a question regarding the firefighting arrangement for that as to what is being done. In fact, we are seeing a lot of news coming up from Delhi also that the stadium may get converted into hospital. There are many rooms required. So what is your take on it? What you have done into your two projects which you just completed and about to complete? And what is
Yes.
your input on that, and what could be done in future?
You see, the assessment of the place which is to be retrofitted into a temporary COVID hospital and typology of COVID hospital needs to be correlated. For example, when I said we did one hospital in an exhibition center designed by my friend architect Ratan Botliboy, had its own robust system of firefighting already existing, because it had large halls, very high ceilings. Fire rating systems were adopted according to those particular facilities. But there, what we found was what was not there was the adequate plumbing and sanitation which was required to accommodate so many beds. Second thing is, when you come up with the partition systems which are going to be a part of your interiors in terms of internal demarcation between wards, those particular things need to have some sort of fire rating at least to a particular way, in a particular fashion, that you can isolate the particular watch in case of any kind of emergencies. Mind you, these are all temporary structures, so you cannot actually have 100% guidelines being followed. But as Mr. Shami said, that you need to keep the controls in such a way that the evacuation and other facilities are taken care of immediately in kinds of any mishaps. The kind of flooring, the kind of electrical systems, whatever we do should be done in a proper workman-like manner, in a particular way that in case of any emergency, it does not become a jumbo humbo and it cannot be taken care of. So fortunately, the site which I'm handling in Exhibition Center had its sprinkler systems, had its fire installation systems, everything in place with underground tank, with DG sets already placed. However, what I'm doing in Kalyan is a raw building which didn't have adequate water tanks for firefighting. So what we did was we have done minor alterations to convert the complete domestic and firefighting tank as firefighting tank, and we are adding new synthesis tanks for underground as well as not underground, and keeping in basement and overhead for overhead provisions. Simultaneously, all the external partitions are being created with fire resistant materials. Of course, it is not a conventional methodology of block works and all those things, but definitely some systems which are cement-based solutions, particle boards which are not particle boards, cement boards which are already available in the market, ranging from 75 mm to 110 mm. We are trying to inside sprinkler systems is a must for us, because if we are creating ICUs, like for Kalyan, we have ICUs which we are creating. So we have a different kind of firefighting system being placed only for the isolated areas for ICUs, and conventional sprinkler system for rest of the wards which are available. So fortunately, there are no operation theaters here. There are only X-rays, again, which have isolated systems and a different pattern of firefighting. So you can, in the whole, if you say 10 to 15% areas are specialized with its specialized, and it is being implemented according to that particular thing. So once you will have a project like stadium being converted into the whole COVID center, you will have to assess the present facilities which are available in the particular complex, reevaluate the whole systems in a particular way that you can sort it out. Because of geysers and other things, your electrical consumption calculations go very high, because the kind of toilets which are being provided for conventional other facilities is much less than what is required for hospitals. So that may add to some electrical loads, and you need to be ready with a solution to address to that particular point. You want to have air conditioning, like my exhibition center is air conditioned. You need to retrofit the air conditioning system, which was prevailing with different air changes for a different function, and you need to reconvert it into present COVID situations, maybe adding UV lights, adding microfilters, and whatever required to. So all these particular things are done. And fortunately, let me share you that today is the handing over date for my exhibition center, which we have completed in 20 days. And we had 300 workers working during this COVID lockdown. Miraculously, for the good reason, I think all the brains and all the people came together to take a resolution that we want to complete this particular thing for the benefit of Navi Mumbai.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that excellent work. I think 700 beds in 20 days is a mammoth job, and congratulations to you. And with that, I think I can see Devanshi is giving me hints that we are already at 6:35 long discussions, and I think takeaways are fantastic. Thank you, Shami Saab. Thank you, Dastur Saab and Hiten Bhai. I think we are missing Prabhat ji and Rajiv, who had to go out. So over to Devanshi to conclude.
I just wish that this kept going. We have got so many questions, and we are still getting so many questions from the audience. But due to time constraints, we are able to answer only a few. But we'll make sure that all the questions go unanswered, and we'll post it on our www.askidac.com website. So I really want to thank everyone. A big thank you for the colossal knowledge shared this evening. It is an absolute honor to hear of it first hand from none other than professionals like you all. Also, special thanks to our sponsor for this episode, that's Naber International Private Limited. We thank our audience that have showed support and tuned in this evening. Should you all have any further queries, do contact Team IDAC. Stay in touch. Sign up now and stay home, stay safe. While the world is, so this is for all the fire officers who are watching and who are here on the panel with us. While the world is burning under this horrid pandemic, we at IDAC want to use this opportunity to show our gratitude to all those in the fire services for risking their lives and fighting for a safer country. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being there. Signing off. Thank you, Pankaj sir, for moderating it so well. Thank you, Vipin sir. Thank you, Dastur sir. Thank you, Shami sir and Rangdeli sir. I think he's not here with us. Thank you for taking out time for us and sharing so much knowledge.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye.
Stay safe, everyone. Stay home, stay safe. Bye. Thank you.